If you've ever downloaded a will or a trust online, this is the warning you need to hear before it's too late. I watched it wreck my own family, and I'm an attorney. Let me show you what I wish we knew. Hey friends, welcome back to the Wealth Planning Podcast with Brister Law, where we protect your assets and help you maximize and grow your wealth. I'm Anthony Brister, tax attorney and founder of the Brister Law Firm, and today's episode is personal. We're talking about a topic most people don't want to think about until it's too late. And what we're talking about today is the hidden cost of DIY estate planning. I'm not talking about legal theory. I'm talking about something that I lived through with my own mother's passing. My mom was smart, independent, and a strong single mother who raised her family with love and discipline. However, she didn't have any type of estate plan, and she passed away when she was 30. When my brother and I were 10, she didn't have any of her wishes written out. She didn't have a trust. She didn't have powers of attorneys. She didn't name guardians for my brother or I. She didn't name any beneficiaries for any property she had. She didn't talk to a professional. So when she passed, we weren't just dealing with the grief as 10 and 8-year-old boys who had just lost their mother. We were dealing with probate court, and family drama. We missed her funeral because our family was fighting at the funeral, and people actually got arrested at the funeral. Till this day, that was one of the most traumatic experiences of my life, and it all could have been avoided. I also had another experience with another single mom when I first started my practice, but she did what most people do. She got some paperwork done, probably from a form she printed out online, and she thought she was being responsible. But what she didn't know, there wouldn't be any frozen accounts, legal delays, confusion over who was in charge, and worst of all, family stress that nobody saw coming. You can love your family deeply and still leave them a mess if your plan isn't done right. And I saw firsthand with my mom. So these two experiences really changed me. I mean, it made me realize that cheap planning or failing to plan at all costs the most, not just in dollars, but in peace, time, and legacy. Now, I don't blame my mom, and I don't blame you if you've ever tried to DIY your estate plan. In fact, I applaud you because it comes from a good place. You want to protect your family. You're trying to be responsible, and I get it. You don't want to spend thousands on a lawyer if you don't have to. But here's what most people don't realize. Estate planning isn't just about filling in the blanks. It's about making sure your plan works when your family needs it the most. And those $99 wills and online trust kits, they don't come with wisdom or advice. They just come with risk. DIY estate plans don't fail when you print them out and sign them. They fail when your family's grieving and suddenly stuck having to go through court. So let's talk about numbers because I love math. First, probate court fees in Texas. Probate can run anywhere from $3,000 up to, I've seen $15,000, even on a modest estate. More if there's real estate involved or other issues that come up. Second, you've got time delays that could come up too, right? Court approval takes time. Your family might be locked out of bank accounts, retirement funds, or even the family home for 6 months to 2 years. And I've even seen one client's case take over 10 years. Then third, the biggest cost is the emotional toll. When there's confusion, when siblings fight, when a child doesn't know who's in charge, all of this can lead to confusion and really isn't helpful when you're trying to grieve. No estate is small when it creates stress and trauma for the people that you love the most. And then fourth, I've seen is tax consequences of bad planning or no planning. and it often leads to missed tax savings. I've seen families lose out on step-up on basis, pay unnecessary estate taxes, or even miss capital gains exclusions on inherited property. You thought you saved $1,500 on legal fees, but your family lost more than $15,000 in court and taxes. That's not saving, it's gambling. So let's call it what it is. DIY estate planning, the industry, is an illusion. The companies sell templates, not legal advice, not strategy, definitely not peace of mind. They show you a progress bar, they let you click a few boxes, then they send you a PDF and say, congrats, you protected your family. But what happens when your plan's tested? What happens when your son calls the bank and they say, sorry, we can't give you access without letters testamentary from the court? Or when Medicaid claws back your assets because you had no proper planning in place? They don't show you that part, and they definitely won't be there to answer questions when you're not around. And that's when the problem occurs. Your enemy isn't death, it's disorganization and failure to plan properly. You've been lied to, and it's not your fault. You were misled by companies that oversimplify it, and you were right to be suspicious that something felt off. You've been told that a form is enough, that a signature is all you need, and that you'll save money by skipping the attorney. But that's not protecting your family, and that's gambling with their future. So let me offer you some hope, because that's what you deserve. There is a better way, and it's not as expensive or complicated as you think. And here's what a real estate plan should include. So first, most people should have a revocable living trust that is properly funded so your assets can avoid probate. You want to make sure that you have proper deed transfers for real estate. Then you want a durable power of attorney and a medical power of attorney in case you become incapacitated and you're unable to make medical or financial decisions for yourself. You want a HIPAA release so doctors can speak with your loved ones. And then you want clear beneficiary designations across retirement accounts, life insurance, and other financial accounts. And then lastly, you probably want a pour over will to catch any assets that weren't titled properly in your trust. We can handle all of this in our discovery process, and it's tailored, personal, and works. Estate planning isn't just a document, it's a system that protects your legacy when you're not here to do it yourself. My mom didn't plan right, and it cost us, but if she had sat down with someone like me, it would have saved us months of stress, thousands in legal fees. So here's your moment. Step 1, go to bristertaxall.com and schedule a free discovery call. Step 2, forward this episode to one person who needs it, your parents, your sibling, or your business partner. And then step 3, subscribe to the podcast, leave a review, and help us get this message out. You've worked too hard to leave your family with a mess, and you don't have to. My name is Anthony Brister, and thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.